What's going on, everybody? Yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it going, right? Yeah, you know what today is. Today is the day, man, that we've been waiting for. Man, I don't know about you down south, but it's been a long week. And if those of you don't know down south, you probably seen them in a couple of our other shows. But this is Down South Philly, part of the Down South Philly podcast show, and soon to be possibly, hopefully everything works out. He'll be a part of the Sports Lounge Media Group. But down south, man, like it's been a long week, no? Or is it just me?
Yes. Yes. Somebody tell the Rams that winter is coming.
I love that energy. I love that energy, man. Yeah, I'm super excited. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let me make and let me say something to you guys as I'm checking on here right now, making sure that everything is cool. But it looks like TikTok is back, y'all. We back in action, man. It's super excited. I'm super excited about that. I don't know why for some reason I can't go live though on I can't go live, but it doesn't show that I'm live on
TikTok.
TikTok though. Hold on, let me see something here. Oh no, it says I'm good. It says I'm good. I don't know. I don't know. But hey, TikTok is back regardless. Regardless, TikTok's back. So I know a lot of people are excited about that. We'll see how long that lasts.
Hmm.
Hopefully we get the extension or get somebody to buy it in the US. We won't spend too much time on that, but let's get started, man. Like yesterday's games, I mean, we didn't get to go live yesterday because of the whole banning situation or all that stuff was going on, but I love to talk about it today, you know. So let's start with the first game. It was the Texans versus the Chiefs. Man, like what was your thought process during that game? I mean, I got my own thing that speculations or however you want to call it, but uh how do you think that the Texans performed and how do you think the Chiefs performed in that game?
Well, going into the game, I really didn't give the Texans much of a chance to win it, just because the Kansas City Chiefs have just been un unbeatable, in a sense. Even though they've looked that this has been probably their least impressive season on a game to game basis. I mean, they still have only lost what, 2 games.
Yeah.
Um, and they still got Patrick and Andy, and coming off a rest, and seems like they're getting more pieces back healthy. And the Texans not really, outside of last week, looking all that impressive to me.
Yeah.
So when you combine all of those things coming into it, I had the Chiefs winning that game decidedly, but it actually ended up being pretty competitive. Um,
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised with the effort that the Texans put up. I mean, they stayed in the game pretty much the whole time. But it's only one way to really beat the Chiefs. And we kind of talked about it a little bit offline, but to me, you have to beat them by multiple scores and take the refs and Mahomes out of it. Otherwise, if it's a one score game, more times than not, the Chiefs are gonna pull it out. And that's what happened again yesterday.
Yeah, and I totally agree that the Chiefs is the type of team. We like you said, we talked about it off stream. Is that you gotta actually beat them, right? You got to
Mhm.
score touchdowns. You can't go up in there kicking field goals and things like that. So it's one of those. It's one of those games where you got to constantly put pressure on them and always have them fighting from behind, trying to
Mhm.
catch up to what you already the damage that you already put up. And going into the next game, we're going to talk about that because that's similar to what the team that won yesterday did. But staying with the Chiefs and all that, there's some. I don't want to get into all that. We won't get into all that today. But
We
I
don't want
will
to get
say,
fined.
yeah, yeah. I will say this though, it does look like the Chiefs is a very beatable team.
Oh yeah.
It really does. It looks like if a high caliber team comes in here and scores a lot of points on them, it's going to be hard for them to climb back. There was a little scare with McDuffie back there. I know he got a little banged up in that game. Towards the end, you had CJ Stroud got his ankle messed up a little bit in that game, but I wasn't too surprised of the defense keeping them in that game
Yeah.
because of what we've seen when they did with the Chargers. So I was excited with that game. I will admit though, I didn't watch the whole game. I took a little nap because it was a slow game. I was like, oh, this is a chance for me to take a nap. I'll come back after halftime. But I was excited to see the rest of that game and thought that the Texans had a chance, but they just started pulling away. And then I knew after with 4 minutes left on the clock that this game is not gonna
Yes, sir.
be Texans' favor. I did have Texans winning that game. Standing in the paint, I lost again. Every time I bet against Patrick, for some reason he pulls it off. He's been pulling it off for what 10 weeks now for
Oh
me.
yeah, really.
And so, man, you're just gonna have to go in there and beat them. Which, again, I'm picking against them next week. It doesn't matter if it's the Bills or the Ravens. I think that those two teams are very equipped to beat them. What is your thoughts on
You
that, man?
becoming a good luck charm, man. You
Yeah,
becoming a
what do
good
you think?
luck charm for the Chiefs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I was gonna say something funny, but I'm not gonna say it. I'll tell you off stream. But do you think now, like getting into the nitty gritty, do you think that either one of those teams, if it's the Bills or the Ravens, are equipped enough to put up points and stop Patrick Mahomes from going to the Super Bowl? Or do you think it's one of those things like, nah, I mean, the Chiefs they just gonna roll right into the Super Bowl?
I think both of them are capable of putting up points. We just got to see it in the playoffs. It's kind of hard to because I mean we've seen the Ravens have a number one seed and still fall victim to the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw Allen go toe to toe with Mahomes, and 13 seconds is all it took for him to lose that game. Well, for them to tie it up and ultimately lose it in overtime. But both of these offenses are capable. We just got to see it in the playoffs. And one of these teams are going to have the opportunity to do so. I think the Ravens are better equipped because they have more weapons to do so. I think with Buffalo, it's Josh Allen a bust. If he's not having
Yeah,
a great game, they're gonna lose. But you
yeah,
can lean on a Henry, or you can lean on the passing game. So they have Ravens just have more options to be able to not only stay in the game but have a lead in the game. So I believe in the Ravens a little bit more. But with all that being said, it's still the Chiefs we're talking about. So it's going to be a good game either way, but I think the Ravens have the best chance to take them down.
take them down. And I agree with you with that. I mean, the one thing that separates the Ravens from the past Ravens is the fact that uh they got Derrick Henry, not so much
Mhm.
more pressure on Lamar now. You take
Right.
that pressure off Lamar. Lamar can actually be a quarterback instead of a running back quarterback, a
Mhm.
dual, like the real dual threat where he has to use his legs. Now he gets to choose if he wants to use them or not. That's a big thing, in the RPO game. So to be able to have a Henry behind you, just like Jalen has a Saquon, it relieves a lot of stress off you, and you could just use your targets and things like that. They do something really creative by using a double tight end set with Likely and Andrews, which they leaned
And
on a little
Kohler.
bit
We
more.
can't we can't forget about Kohler either. He
Yeah.
can make some plays in the pass
Yep.
game.
I'm surprised with Bateman though. Bateman came out this year and filled in with Zay Flowers, and actually he's a good fill-in
Yeah.
wide receiver. You haven't really talked about him too much, but he's been
He's been
really a
making some
good fill.
plays.
Yeah, he's been making some solid plays, and he got a couple touchdowns already thus so far. So very interesting. Again, Zay Flowers is out, but we'll talk about that game later. But I have the same pick. I think the Ravens is better equipped and better and ready, and I have them beating the Chiefs. I have them winning the game, beating the Chiefs. We'll dive into that later. But I have them the closest. I'm with you. They have the pieces to do it.
Right.
Let's walk right into the game that has shocked the world, man. Washington Washington Commanders representing the NFC East versus the NFC North team that everybody was, I guess, scared of. I mean, I wasn't, but the Lions, man. Like, do you think that? I mean, first and foremost, congratulations to Jaden Daniels. He actually made it farther than Dak, um, and he's only a rookie. He did it in his first season, but congratulations to that team, Dan Quinn and everybody like that. And congratulations too to Dan Campbell doing it 3 years in a row, taking them from nothing to somebody.
Hell of a regular season.
Yeah, hell of a regular season. So hats off to both of them. No disrespect here, all love, but it is what it is. Let's walk through that. Let's walk through that game a little bit.
Yeah, man. I going into that game, I picked Detroit to win, but I also had a caveat of, hey, this Washington team is they can be dangerous. They know how to put up points. Wasn't really worried about their defense as much, but their defense has shown flashes last week of being competent. And if they could only keep it close, if they can keep this game close, we've seen Jaden Daniels win the game so many times this year with the ball in his hands. So
yeah,
I thought the key to victory to them, even though I didn't think they would win, would be a last second, last drive. But they eliminated all that. They just came out with their foot on the gas and they put Detroit in a an uncomfortable position. They haven't really been trailing all year. And this was the game where Goff turned into a pumpkin. We kind of saw he's been having a great season. Similar to Darnold, where they just been kind of lighting it up all year, but never really bought into him 100% just because we've seen their body of work. Even though they were having a good season, it was kind of like you got to prove it in the playoffs, right? And then for them both to get a basically one and done for both squads. Well, the whole NFC North got booted out in their first time out in the playoffs. So they've been crowned all year long. This was the first year where they were actually the hunted, and they responded up until pretty much the playoffs. Like you said, just shouts out to Commanders, man. What a resilient team they've been this year, and surprise team. If anybody put any money on them to go far in the playoffs before the season started, you're looking at some wealthy people right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't do anything to. I think the most shocking part to me from the Commanders is how their defense looked last night. That we haven't seen all year long. They've been one of those teams where while they can put up 30, 40 points on you, their defense can give up 30, 40 points too. But yeah, for them to be able to do that, huge win. They'll be going into the NFC Championship loose because as far as they're concerned, they're not supposed to be there. But the thing is, nobody told Jaden Daniels that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Washington coming into this game, like you said before. Let me backtrack and say everybody was scored. I'm getting tongue tied. Everyone was scared of the NFC North, right? Mm-hmm. And I was one of the ones that wasn't the believer since week 6 of them, simply because I'm more of like looking into games and looking at the reality of the game. And a lot of games played with the NFC North weren't scary games. Like, who are you really playing? Like, if you pull up their schedule, right? They did beat the bad teams at the way that they should get beat, right? And some of the teams, the Texans beating the Cowboys, beating the Titans, and beating all these other teams. I mean, you could pull up the schedule. I won't bore you guys with that, but it just didn't stand out to me that they could really, really beat somebody. And the other thing was, yeah, they were respectfully, they won those games. They did win those games, and they won the 1 seed. And out of all the teams in the NFL and in the NFC, they were the team that I thought needed it the most, right? They needed that 1 seed to get some of their pieces back, like Montgomery, and things like that, which they didn't use Montgomery too much last night.
Didn't have a chance to.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance to, right? And so that's concernsome. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like a little concerned about, coming into this game and then having a week off. How is Jared Goff going to respond to a week off? Is he going to come out rusty? And he did. He came out rusty. And the Washington Commanders played against a Bucs team in a really tough battle, and they were battle tested and they were ready to play, where Lions had to get ready to play. I think that was a difference maker. And then when they started scoring, they was like, oh, damn, now we're in a shootout. Now we got to do this and that. That was concern for me throughout the whole entire game. I'm like, oh, damn, like Scary Terry, scoring a touchdown. You got Eckler out there doing things, and you got this old Ertz back there doing things. I'm like, yo, this game is not going to go the way the Lions thought that it was going to go. And I really honestly think, and I'm going to stand on this, and I'll stand in the paint when we go back on live, but I honestly think that this weekend is the NFC AFC Championship. I think whoever wins these games this weekend, as far as the Eagles and the Rams and the Ravens and the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. And that's going back to the Lions. If they won or lost, I didn't think that they would compete with either the Rams or the Eagles. So with that being said, now everything, hopefully, knocking on wood, everything goes great in the game, and we play the game that we're supposed to. Everything goes through the link. That's a whole different ball game now. You know what I'm saying? And so, I always told everybody, just hold on, go beat Washington first before you can say anything, because I think Detroit winning that game, getting the 1 seed and winning the game was more important to them than it was for us, because we travel well. And we do things. We could play anywhere. And you want us to play on a turf? You want us to play on turf in a dome? Okay, even playing field. All right, we finna get after you. So those are some things that I was looking into. But Washington definitely did the thing. One of the stats that worried me about that game too, down south, was they're not good with mobile quarterbacks. They haven't been a good defense, even healthy. They weren't good with mobile quarterbacks. That worried me a little bit. So I already knew going into that game that they were going to have some trouble with Washington. I had Washington winning that game. Not by the way that they did, but I had them winning that game. And kudos to them. And everything that they did. So I'm excited. I'm excited for them. Hopefully it's an NFC matchup again. We want our get back. And this time it's going to be in the link. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we do get our get back. But that's all I got to say about that. The Lions, I believe that this was their last chance, man. Honestly, I don't know how they recover from this, losing Ben Johnson and their defensive coordinator.
And potentially Glenn as well.
Yeah. And welcome in, brother.
No.
What's going on, brother? So yeah, but this is one of the guys that was really high hopes about Washington. To be honest, he had Washington all year long talking about Jaden Daniels. Man, you still didn't fix that. Let me ask a question. Not to be racist. This is not a racist statement. But what is it?
It's been really busy this week, man.
What's with black people and them smoke detectors, man? For some reason, we don't change out them damn smoke detectors, brother. But you hear that noise? It's not from me or down south. It's for the guy down below. Anyway,
I'll take it.
Yeah. But anyways, he had Washington. He was a believer in Washington from day one. He believed in Jaden Daniels, rookie of the year, things like that, and but they had, I believe they had the easier road. I think they had the easier road to where they got in the playoffs. We had the road that we needed to stay competitive. But let's jump right into it. We got the first game. Let's talk about the first game. We got the first game. It's Eagles versus Rams. Let's dive into that. Sorry that we're reading off fantasy. I thought he was gonna jump in. Let's jump into it though. Let's jump into that game. We got the Eagles versus the Rams. We'll start with, since we're Eagle fans, we'll start with Dice Will 21 down there. How do you see that game going, man? Like, let me put the emphasis on the game. They said it's going to be snowing lightly in the first 2 quarters, but heavy snow is supposed to come in during halftime. So it looks like it might turn into a big snowball. I know that it says something about anywhere to 2 to 4 feet. Playing in the snow. You got Matt Stafford beating the Vikings, coming into Eagle territory, and now playing against a red hot defense in the Eagles. And started to get hot in the second half Eagle offense. How do you see this game playing out, man? And who do you got?
I believe it's definitely going to be a shootout when it comes to it. Cooper Kupp and all of them are going crazy and catching everything, but it's going to be hard for the defense really to keep them down. But so they got to figure that out when it comes to Cooper and Puka Nacua. They've got hot right in time. They just came back from the injuries and they've been running smoothly when it comes down to it. I think I still could have the Eagles in it though, because it all depends on how they play through this weather. With it being sleek like that in the snowstorm, it's all you can see and how if you don't slip around and everything goes wrong. But it's gonna be
Let me stop you there. I'm gonna tell you what Jalen said. Jalen said, rain, sleek, or snow, Eagles are trained to go. That's what he said. That's what he said. Rain, sleek, or snow, Eagles are ready to go. They're trained to go. So I mean, this is what we play for. This is our stadium. This is what we do every year. So that's not going to be a factor on our end. But I hear what you're saying. Continue. I had to throw that statement out for you, though.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the weather, really, because I feel like still can make it a great game with the defense and everything else going on. But there's going to be a lot of offense when it comes to the Rams too. So they got a lot to watch out for.
Yeah. Down south, how do you see this game going, man?
Man, I feel good about this game. And you know, when I say that, people tend to feel like it's somehow disrespectful to the Rams, or the Rams are a different team in the playoffs versus the off season. But I just, believe in the team. I've seen this team through 18, 19 weeks of football. Just continue to get better. Defense has been lights out pretty much, since week 6. Offense has been steady, but at times shown flashes to be pretty dangerous, when things pan out. But going into this game, the Rams are, they can be dangerous on the outside. Kyron Williams is no slouch. The defense is, pretty young. The pass rush got 9 sacks last week. I still can't believe that. But they are weak on the back end. So that's probably where we probably will attack. I mean, obviously, last time we played them, Saquon went crazy. 300 yards from scrimmage, 255 on the ground, yada, yada, yada. But, it's obviously going to come down to how well we can run the ball as well. But, how we stop Kyron. If we stop Kyron and, put some focus on Cooper Kupp and Puka, what's his name? Puka Nacua. Take the weather out of it, I would have had us anyway. But now we getting snow. That's a whole nother ball game. So it's going to turn into, whoever can ground and pound, whoever can run the ball the best and stop the run wins this game. And I just got the Birds doing it better.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more, man, with that statement. This is our stadium. This is what we're supposed to do. This is how we play. Just like if you were a Green Bay Packer and you had to play in Lambeau. Just like if you're in Buffalo, the Ravens got to go into Buffalo. They got to do the same exact thing, right? And real quick, put it in the chat. How do you guys think this game is going to go? How do you think this game is going to go? Put it in the chat. Whether you're in the replay or you're here live, tell us right now how you think this game is going to go. But But yeah, so with that being said, it's the same exact thing, man. It's how are those two backs going to play in the store? I think it's going to be a more run dominant game. But there's also some statistics that I like to throw out down south to throw out in a minute here after I give them the floor. But what I want to say is that they do say that Matt Stafford is 1-8 when it comes to rain and snow. That's a statistic to keep an eye on and how he performs. But again, this is a whole different ball game. This could be one of those games. You know, he was 1-8. He won one time. You know, it doesn't mean that he can't win again. But those are statistics to look out for. The other big factor is we're 0-3 against this Sean Smith referee crew. That's another thing to keep an eye on. It's the same crew that ejected CJ Garner-Johnson out of the Commander game. So that's something to look out for as well. So I am, I'm a little nervous about those two factors, but it is going to be a run-heavy game. And I have the Eagles pulling it out, man. I do have the Eagles pulling it out. But here's some defensive statistics I want to give you guys. So we talking about, you know, the Rams offense versus the Eagles defense. These are some heavy statistics, and I want to emphasize this, that the statistics that Down South is about to give you guys is statistics when they are healthy in the second half of the season. This not has to do with them when they had injuries. This has to do when they got good and they are like hot, right? So these are not statistics. You could go look these up for yourself. So this second half of the season, go ahead. I'm going to give you the floor real quick, and I'm going to mute myself and give you the floor.
So when it comes down to the total defense, we got the Eagles at number 1 with 278 yards per game, allowing 33 touchdowns, compared to the Rams defense, who finished 26 and giving up 353 yards and 43 touchdowns allowed. Now, passing defense, number 1 for the Eagles again, 174. Rams all the way at 20, 273, 29 touchdowns allowed. Now, when it comes to rushing defense, which will probably be, you know, the ultimate deciding factor in this game, right. Number 10, still a top 10 unit for the Eagles, at 104, giving up 9 touchdowns total. 22 for the Rams. They gave up 130 yards per game and 13 touchdowns overall. Scoring defense, which is really the only stat that matters, how many touchdowns you give up. We're number 2. 17 points a game, pretty much 33 all year long. The Rams, number 17, giving up about 22 points per game. 43 have been scored on that defense. Then when we go to the red zone, again, we kind of deadlocked in the red zone. Both of us are kind of at 50%. Number 5, respectively. We're both tied for that. Third down, we're number 3. They're number 20. Sacks, always an important stat. Top 15 at number 15 for the Eagles. 22 for the Rams at 38 sacks on the season. And then turnovers forced, another important stat. We're number 6, plus or minus 11. The Rams are number 11, plus or minus 6. So, you know, in all pretty much the stats that really determine the game, it seems like the Birds have, you know, on paper, everything looks like, you know, all Birds. But we do know that it's not necessarily the best team that wins the playoff games. It's who can play the best game that day. So, you know, numbers are nice, and the numbers favor us. But at the end of the day, we have to still go out here and execute in order to be able to play again next week at home.
Yeah, 100%, man. What happened to my camera? Oh, there I am. Yeah, 100%, man, and I agree. You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, 100%, man, and I agree. Those numbers are huge because we're going into when we talk about their offensive game. We do have to slow down. We have to slow down Puka Nacua. We have to slow down these guys. there was a let me see real quick. I got some stuff for you guys too. Also we have inactive. Just so you guys know, inactive. We have Tanner McKee, man. Tanner McKee is not going to be playing in this game, even if he was called upon. So we're looking at just Kenny Pickett. Ricks is not going to be in this game. Lewis, who we just picked up, not going to play. Gates won't be playing in this game. Kennard, Keenan, and also Smith, the wide receiver,
Anaya Smith.
Anaya Smith. Yeah, so they're all inactive. Everybody else is active. So I'm pretty sure that as long as we stay healthy in this game, and we'll make sure that we take care of business. Those are big stats, man, because that a lot of Rams fan kind of compared that game against the Vikings to the Eagles, and I wanted to bring those stats out because you're not playing against the Vikings defense, you know what I'm saying, and nor are you playing against their offense. So it's going to be really interesting in how this game continues to drive, but it is what it is at this point, and you know what I'm saying. So we gotta continue to put pressure on Stafford, and as long as we continue to allow that pressure with our front four to get to Stafford, I don't think this game can go any other way. Honestly, if we play at our highest potential, I don't think there's a team in the NFL that could. So it's getting us. I mean, it's probably the key. I mean, what is your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah. It's two key matchups that we need to pay attention to in this game. One, on offense for us, our offensive line versus that defensive line. That's going to determine a lot. And then on defense for us, which linebacker is going to step up in place of Nakobe Dean? That's a huge loss for us. So whether it be Oren Burks or the Rook Trotter Jr., I believe they're going to split time between that role and special teams. But ultimately, I think that's probably where they're going to attack that linebacker position specifically on defense. I think that's probably what I'm going to pay attention to the most. Now, I say that, and it may not be an issue at all, but that's what I'll be looking at initially.
You got a fixture. Camera keeps acting up.
Looks like he's going in one of those shows where he blurs out his face.
All right. They had a Thanos snap earlier. He kept disappearing.
But yeah, man, I'm excited about this one.
It's definitely going to be a good game.
We got kickoff in about, 35 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's a good one. So I missed it. Who you got winning this one?
I still got the Eagles winning this one, but it's not going to be an easy one.
Yeah.
I can tell it's not going to be an easy 100%. One. You're playing with the weather against 100%. You, and you got Puka Nacua and all them. Like the corners have got to be on their A game. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good one for them today.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how much snow we actually get during game time. Because that's going to be a huge factor.
But you guys can continue.
That's amazing.
Let's go to the.
I think he's just super lagging right now.
You had to log back, maybe log back in, log out, and log back in, maybe.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I'm excited about. I mean, both games today should be good. Obviously,
if you guys can hear me.
We hear you, but you keep going in and out.
Between this game in particular against the Rams, or if we're talking about, the Bills and the Ravens, both going to be good matchups today. So it's going to be a good game of football. At least it should be. Who you got winning that game, the second one?
Oh, for the
Bills
Rams
and the Ravens.
Man, that one's tough. I feel like the Ravens may have it though, because they still got Derrick Henry, and I don't think that the Bills defense really can stop him. They really didn't have that much with it when it came to it before, And there's not a lot of even though they lost Zay Flowers, they still got a couple more punches when it comes to receivers too.
Yeah, and I think they can effectively run their offense through their tight ends too.
Yeah,
they got enough weapons on the tight end, and I didn't even realize that sometimes that they even put their goal line on their goal line offense on the field when they're nowhere near the goal line. So I mean, there's that too.
Yeah.
When they really want to go super heavy with Ricard in the backfield, lead blocking. So I mean, it should be a good one though.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a good game. You're gonna see a lot of good coming from both the quarterbacks.
I kind of wish that it would. The winner, you would think that the winner of this game would be who they give the MVP to, but I kind of wish that the playoffs mattered a little bit when it comes to the MVP. Because I mean, that's what that's what's freshest in our mind. Like whoever has the better preseason. But I mean, I guess the playoffs will matter. Right. So I don't know. Who do you think, taking the playoffs out of it, who do you think ultimately is the MVP for this season, since it's a regular season award?
Even though, since it's a regular season award, I feel like he came up right in time when it came to it for Lamar to get it. Like the team going in sync really, and then once they got Henry going, he was really unstoppable for the team next to Saquon Barkley for the Eagles. He's been that second part of their offense that they needed, and it doesn't rely on Lamar that much anymore. Now they can run different plays. Now he can sit there in the pocket and push because he's got a blocker back there now. Like everything's going to sync for it. Blitz is here.
What's good?
What's going on? What's going on?
Go Birds.
You head to the.
Y'all hear me?
Because you got to play.
Yeah, we can hear you. We were talking about last thing we were talking about is regular season MVP. Who is your regular season MVP now that the season is over?
It has to be Lamar. If we're going by numbers, it has to be Lamar. I do agree with you. I think the winner of this ball game is it's got to be it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Josh wins it, I think they'll give it to him.
They definitely should.
Yeah, can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah, we got you.
Sorry,
we can see you.
All right, perfect. I'm sorry for that, you guys. It was technical difficulties with my laptop, so I switched back to the phone. But now, let's get back to I know we're going a little backtrack again, but going back to the Birds and the Rams. Stopping Puka Nacua is going to be one of the toughest things to do, and him coming off of a tear, and all that such. But I'm super excited about just this game and everything that has to do with this game, because the last thing that I would say about this game before we talk about the Buffalo and the Ravens game is the fact that and my heart goes out to people in LA. Obviously, I got two sisters down in LA right now. One of them had to evacuate and such. But one of the things is that they came in with a different hunger, right? And they definitely showcased that. They won the game in Minnesota, to let everybody know that they hungry, emotional game, all that. But now that the Eagles have a chance to have the NFC Championship, and that's not to take away on I'm not taking away what's happening in LA. We understand it's the same thing that happened with Hurricane Katrina. But what I'm saying is I think we can match that intensity. The fact that we have an opportunity here, guys, to be able to play the NFC Championship in the league. So
I agree with you. I think that all prayers up for LA, but what I'm tired of hearing about is the script, right? I'm tired of hearing about LA is going through something traumatic and they got the will to fight and this and that. Well, aren't you supposed to have the will to fight anyway? It's the playoffs. Yeah. I don't feel like you should need an extra traumatic event to want to succeed in the playoffs. So I'm kind of over that whole narrative, but I think that that we definitely have something to push for, as Chosen just said, is home field advantage. I mean, now we have the chance to make sure that it goes through Philly.
Yeah,
One
and
thing,
and I don't want to take again. I'm not taking away. I'm not
Absolutely
taking
not.
away. Yeah, I'm not taking away again what's happening. Um,
Yeah.
what's happening there in LA. Like my heart, my prayers goes there. We're me and Dice Will are both from California. We're California natives, born and raised. But at the same time, we're gonna go play football. You know what I mean? There's nothing in this game other than us donating and sending our prayers that we could possibly do other than doing that. But there's still a game to be played, and Philadelphia Eagles got to go out there, and they unfortunately they have to play against a team going through such a situation. And yeah, we got to win that game. Now we have a different hunger because the NFC Championship could be there. But I didn't want to cut. I didn't mean to cut you off down south. But go ahead and take it away. What did you had something to say about that? And then fantasy, if you can you turn your phone sideways?
Yeah, my fault. My car is a little loud. I'm sure. I'm sorry.
I was
No, turn it sideways. Turn so the camera's.
Oh yeah.
Because you're
Bang!
driving.
There you go. There you go.
Bang! Yeah, there you are. Now you're full screen. But go ahead, down south.
Oh, I was going to say, I believe that Higbee is playing in this game, which he was having a pretty good game last week, and just coming back from injury. So that's another part of that key matchup I was saying with that whoever we decide to replace Nakobe Dean with, which
Yeah.
is a huge loss for us. But between Trotter and Oren Burks, that'll be interesting to see how they attack that position.
Before you move on from that, do we see the axe today?
Bro, I'm telling you, the child in me is about to start crying, my brother.
If we see that axe, that stadium is gonna go nuts.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I had to say it, bro. I had to say it.
No, man, that's
oh shoot, he disappeared. He'll be back.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm just excited about this one. I'm glad that you decided to go live because it kind of killed some time for me because I was literally just over here just shaking, ready to watch, a good game. Other than that, though, obviously our offensive line, our offense for the most part is fully healthy, which is always scary. We have got it.
Yeah.
AJ, Smitty, just you name it, we got it at every position.
That's why it was going to be a lights out game. Everybody's healthy.
Everybody's healthy.
Yeah. So before I move on to let's talk a little bit about the Jalen Hurts situation here, right? So he obviously gets concussed. By the way, I got a bone to pick with the officiating and everything because they let Jared Goff play a whole game concussed. The whole world seen it, but you let my Jalen Hurts out. You can't be letting my Jalen Hurts be gone for 3 weeks and go through protocol and let Jared Goff play, boy. Nah, I'm okay. I said what I needed to say. I got that off my chest. Now I can move on from it. Now we got to play the Rams. But talking about that, how do you think he performs now? The fact that he struggled in the first half. Obviously, we've seen the rust. Everybody knows that the rust is going to happen when you don't play for a month. But I don't blame that solely on Jalen. I think he went 6 for 6 in his first drive. I kind of blame it on Kellen Moore and because the play calling was totally different in the second half and it got the rhythm going and got him back. But how do you think he performs in this game, and how do you think the play calls is going to be in this game? You think it's going to be similar to the first play calling in the first time we played him, or you think that Jalen? What is your thoughts on the whole Jalen Hurts thing? I want to know that, both of y'all.
I honestly felt that Jaden, while he didn't light up the scoreboard, he didn't light up the stat sheet.
There it is.
He had a clean game. I think that's what you can expect from Hurts. That has been the key to our winning streak. Ever since really week 6 is him coming out of that bye and making a conscious decision to not try to play hero ball and being more conscious of keeping the ball on our side of the field and making sure that we don't give it to the other team. Like, turnovers was huge in those first 4 weeks of the season for us. He was turning it over at an alarming rate, whether it be making bonehead interceptions or just, fumbling or, ball security. That's what we can expect from Hurts. And I actually think he's going to light it up because we did so well on the ground the first time we played the Rams that they have no choice but to come out expecting us to try to do that again. And I feel like they're going to overcommit. And as soon as you leave us one-on-one on the outside, Hurts is going to tear you up because we had the weapons. You can't cover these guys. You can't cover AJ one-on-one. You can't cover Smitty one-on-one. You can't cover Goddard one-on-one.
At least not the whole entire game.
Right.
Like a lot of people, a lot of people like to cherry pick and say, "Oh, he locked him down on this play or whatever." But you're not gonna lock him down the whole entire game. Let's just get that correct. Like you might get him a couple of plays, but it's not gonna be the whole game.
Right.
Well, they got some injuries going on in their secondary too.
I think Witherspoon was hurt, but I don't know if he's out.
Chat, let us know, chat.
I know that. I don't think he's out. I think he's questionable.
I got people in the chat that could let me know what you get because they gave me the injury report for the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me the injury report for the Los Angeles Rams? You still here in the chat, please? Give me the injury report. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But yeah, go.
I know I saw this morning that
I
Byron.
Can just look it up myself, huh? I got my laptop back up.
That D tackle Byron is out. He won't be playing in this game.
Yeah, that's the only one for the Eagles that's out. Yeah.
No, we got Tanner McKee inactive too.
Oh, do we? I didn't see that.
Yeah, we got Tanner McKee. I had a list.
Yeah, I think we weren't going to go into the game with three quarterbacks, so that's not really far fetched. But yeah, I think Hurts is going to have a really good game out of necessity because I think they're going to come into this game like anybody outside of Saquon is going to have to win this game because they're going to have a focus on him. You can't let somebody go for 300 yards 2 times in a year for you against you. So especially early, I think we can definitely get some early throws, and we got to get AJ involved early so he's not over there reading the silence of the lamb or whatever.
Make sure it's muted.
Huh?
No, I was telling my son, make sure that it's muted.
I think that this is going to be one of those. This is what you wanted to see games from Jalen Hurts.
I agree. Yeah. Get AJ started early. Couple slants.
John Johnson is out. The O-line, Brendan Jackson is out. O-line, Justin Getz is out. This is for the Rams, by the way. Joe Nodell is out, and AJ Arcuri is out.
Okay.
And the wide receiver, Taylor Johnson, is also out.
Yeah, he had 302 scrimmage yards in week 12.
Yeah.
You can't do that again. So I think that's going to be their main focus. I do agree with that.
It would be crazy to think that it wouldn't be their main focus.
Right.
You can't let that happen again.
No. I think they're a different defense, but I still don't think they have enough to even remotely stop us. I think that if we do anything bad today, I think it's going to be beating ourselves. I don't think they have what it takes to. I just don't.
Yeah. Just don't
and I agree with that.
Don't let them score early. They got a lot of weapons to get in early and to get a lot of points.
Yeah. And it's live on Peacock, just to let everybody know. Make sure it's muted.
I just pulled it up. Another thing that we can hope for is a Kyron Williams fumble because he's liable to give at least one to us, and we still got Zach Bond in there.
Matt Stafford too. Matt Stafford gives up. He gives up interceptions and fumbles. In these type of climates is what we know.
I think the weather has a lot to do what's going to transpire today.
Yep.
Yeah, he averages 2 turnovers, fumbles or picks in weather climates like this. So if we could get 2 of those and make those scoring drives, this thing could get kind of interesting. Let's move on real quick before the game I kind of see the game already getting loaded up here, but let's get your guys' take on the Raven game, because obviously I'm not going to be on. We're not going to be live on that game, but let's get your guys' take on the Ravens versus the Bills. What is it gonna take for? Let's start for the Bills to win that game, or what is it gonna? And the opposite question is, what is it gonna take for the Bills to win that game?
For me, Josh Allen is going to
it said Kellen Moore interviewed for the Cowboys this week.
He
Yeah,
interviewed for
Cowboys,
the
Saints, and
Cowboys.
Jaguars.
Yeah, all three.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
So,
happy about it though.
He's gone.
I hope he does go to Dallas. It looks like a
Yeah,
goofball.
me too.
I really do.
But I think Josh Allen is going to have to go full Josh Allen for them to win this game. Running, passing, it doesn't matter. One of those vintage games that he can have. And defensively, obviously, it starts with stopping Henry, and then keeping Lamar in the pocket and hoping that he doesn't carve you up with his arm too. But on the Ravens side of things, just continuing to run the ball down their throat, play after play after play. Either it's with Lamar or Henry, and then once they get enough of that, just dump it off to those tight ends that they have and have a field day. Defensively, I think the biggest thing for them when they moved Humphrey to the slot, that was huge. Moving Humphrey to the slot and fixing the safety play, I think that was the key to them turning around their season, because they got off to a good start, and then they had that lull where their defense wasn't good. It was kind of holding them back, honestly, and that allowed the Steelers to even be a factor. But once they fix that on the back end, it seems like they're playing, some good football down the stretch, and they're coming into this thing red hot as well. So I'm excited about that matchup, man.
Yeah. I can agree.
Yeah. And who do you got? And who do you got winning?
I got the Ravens.
Who do you got winning that game?
Winning.
Okay. Let's go down to fantasy. What do you were saying? What?
So for me, he down South Philly kind of hit the main points. For me, for the Bills to win, look, it's basically 2 against 1 right now. Josh Allen is you could argue is the entirety of the team next to James Cook, but James Cook is not Derrick Henry. It's Lamar and Derrick that has to carry this team. They have to control the time of possession. They have to be able to keep Josh Allen up.
Fantasy, is it Fantasy, is it snowing over there?
It is not, but it's
snowing,
cold
right?
as shit.
No. I mean in Buffalo.
Oh, in Buffalo, they were supposed to get some snow, yes. But I honestly, I've been paying more attention to the Philly weather than I have been Buffalo.
The field looked like it was covered in snow, but it wasn't currently snowing when I was looking at it earlier.
Right. I know that Philly during warm-ups, freaking Mulata's crazy ass was walking around barefoot in the snow, but it's not snowing currently, but it was pregame. So we'll see how much that's going to affect things today. But I think Buffalo was supposed to get some.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a snow dump. It's supposed to be a snow dump happening during halftime, and it's supposed to get really, really bad during halftime.
I think if we can hold the lead until halftime, and then we rely on the run game to carry us the rest of the way, I think that's going to be our easiest path to an easy dub.
Yeah, but back to the Ravens game. You're saying what? And who do you have winning that game? I do have
the Ravens. Like I said, it's basically 2 against 1. You got Lamar and Derrick versus Josh. I think that, again, down south Philly kind of hit it on the nose that Marlon Humphrey moving to the slot was huge for their pass defense. That was their weak point at one point in the season, and I think they had fixed that. And their defense have kind of stepped up from here. But, the better offense, I think, is Baltimore. Even without Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman has stepped up. Even Nelson Aguilar has caught a few balls for them. And but I think that you rely on your playmakers, you rely on your stars at this point, and I think that Baltimore has more of the star power on both sides of the field. So,
yeah, and you got Ravens winning good. Yeah, I don't disagree. I love both takes. I think The thing about it is that can you contain Josh Allen to the point where he's a one-trick pony, right? He's a one-trick pony. So if you can contain him to use it from not using his legs and having him just throw more, and just keep that under control, obviously you limit him, right? So that's all you want to do is limit him because they don't have the weapons like the Ravens do. And I think the Ravens defense can do that. Honestly, I really think that the Ravens defense can do that. They can keep them at a low scoring pace and keep them contained to the point where, they can score the football instead of scoring field goals and do exactly what is needed. If it is snowing, Derrick Henry is going to have a hell of a day. That's a strong human being. You know what I'm saying? That's a big, hell yeah. That's trouble, bro. That's troublesome. So, with that being said, and not just that, I mean, you still got Lamar Jackson who could use his legs if he has to in the snow. And that's going to be one hell of a game. Again, guys, I'm going to stick to what I'm going to stick to. I think it's going to be the Ravens coming out with that one. And at the end of the day, I honestly believe that this is the NFC AFC Championship. Whoever wins these games today is obviously going to the Super Bowl. Is my judgment. If I had to have one, but I got the Ravens. Give me the Ravens on that one. Thank you guys for tuning in so far. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Who do you got?
I definitely got the Ravens too. They have more punches when it comes to receiving and offense, and you can't really stop Derrick Henry when he's going at it. Once he gets going, there's no stopping it. Even with the weather going around, they still both have played in this weather. Now, Josh Allen has had the better favor when it comes to playing in this kind of weather because he goes off, but it all depends on how he gets through that defense.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
What do we think about
what
do we think about Jared Versus comments? You think he dug himself a hole on that?
Yeah, he did.
He definitely did. You don't do that coming into Philly. You just riled him up more. You just got Philly fans a little bit more excited. Gonna make a lot more noise when stuff happens with it. And then he backtracked too. He
backtracked and reversed it. It was like, I just want to move on. And no, there ain't no moving on, man.
The damage has been done.
That energy, bro.
The damage has been done, brother.
You're gonna get for it, man. Take the accountability.
You said it.
And even coach, even McVay stood by him. He was like, nah. He's like, what he said, we stand on business. I was like, all right.
Okay.
Bet.
I respect that.
Get the same energy because you're going to get it.
So America picks. So 59% of America picks
I don't
Eagles to win this
like
game.
That, though. I don't necessarily like that.
59 is not bad, though.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like 80,
right.
90.
Yeah.
Yeah. These boys are going to come out to play both sides, man. Like, at the end of the day, it's just it's what the score is going to be like at halftime and what we do to bounce back in halftime if we need to. If we're ahead by halftime, that's scary because the fact that we've been known to start slow in the first half. Yeah. So it doesn't scare me in the first half to start slow. It just scares me on what the score made. It doesn't really scare me, but it worries me a little bit on what that's going to be like. But let's hunt, boys.
No, I think that the crowd's going to make them do a lot of silent counts today. And I think that's going to be another advantage.
Yeah. And I agree with that. Any last words from any of y'all before we get to this game? If we are
the team that we say we are, we win this game.
Absolutely.
Any last words, Dupree?
The Eagles just got to come out strong with this time. Like, the plays were good for that first half just to get him back into his zone for the concussion. But now you got to bring out the plays that you know will defeat the team. H. Brown's here. He's here now. He's got back and swing things. So Jalen's.
That's a good statement.
I can agree.
You got to pull out the plays. You got to pull out the plays that are going to win the game. Man, Kellen Moore worries me now that he had 3.
No, he's known for those things. He did it in Dallas. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care.
It ain't gonna matter.
It don't matter.
But how he plays out this game? I don't know. Does he want to win a Super Bowl? Is just my question.
I mean, of course he does. It's gonna make his price go up.
You think so? Oh, he makes his price go up? Okay, I can see that. I didn't look at it like that.
We have to realize that there's still options out there other than Kellen Moore. I mean, hypothetically, what if What if Ben Johnson or a Cliff Kingsbury doesn't like what the team is offering them to have control over? Who's to say they don't go from one team to the next? And I think we're a hot commodity in the league especially when it comes to coaching.
What's his name? Bieniemy? I think
Eric
Bieniemy. He was with
supposed
the
to be
Chiefs.
coming back. Yeah, he's supposed to be coming. He's an OC too,
Yeah,
right?
he was. Yeah.
He's been snubbed.
Yeah, he's
been
supposed to be
snubbed
coming
so
back to
many
the.
times for head
The only
coach.
reason he wasn't a head coach is because Andy's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's good points, man. And again, guys, this was spur of the moment, so there's some like technical difficulties. We were in and out. It wasn't uniform like usual. We usually don't go live like this, but since TikTok was gone, and actually you can't even go TikTok live right now. You could go on TikTok, but you just can't go live right now. So, yeah, we gotta see what happens with everything this week. But hopefully, it looks like we're stirring in the right direction to be locked and loaded and be back at least. You can at least post on there. I know that, but I'm sorry that this wasn't uniform, guys. Apologize, but we got our points across. We all told you what needs to be said. Hopefully, you guys take the points that we said and we ride with that. But other than that, thank you to I didn't say it in the beginning, but thank you to our proud sponsors, Number One Sports Fan. They're in Hanford, Visalia, Antillery, and also in LA. Thank you so much for supporting us. Also, Kelly Bell Graphics for supporting us. Martino's Construction, the Mogul brand, Diamond Collection, the list goes on. And each and every one of these guys, we got Down South Philly with the Down South Philly Show. We got the Fantasy Blitz podcast, the Eagles Nest, Kim Pat Show that supports us, and the recruiting agency that we developed. There's so much content to be coming. We got NFL credentials. We got people all over the U.S. now. Where are you at? Downtown?
South Carolina.
Down south? Carolina. We got a South Carolina guy in the house. You got Vegas people right here, and you also got Fantasy who's in Illinois, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got people all over the United States, guys, in Miami and North Carolina.
They got Brian Dawkins.
So.
Brian Dawkins taking us out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go.
Give it that little pregame. He said, y'all ain't ready.
I don't know why. Hey, why didn't we have Gilly, bro? I know he's hilarious. He had us going out last week, but we need them Brian Dawkins, them dogs bringing us out.
We make it to
bro.
the NFC Championship. It's gonna be. I'm telling you, they bringing out all the stops.
It's gonna be nuts.
I can see it now.
It's definitely gonna be. If they make the NFC Championship, it's definitely gonna be a game.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, we needed this. We needed Brian Dawkins.
Let's take care of business today.
Absolutely. All right, boys.
Yeah, let's take care of business. But that's it. That's it for us, guys. You can catch us sometime this week. We'll be going live again on Wednesday. And you can find us here on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, of course. Follow all these guys as well. And then hopefully TikTok. So we'll catch you guys at the end of. I might go live after the game, depending.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. But hey, at the end of the day, go Birds!
Let's hot.